Hi guys, Arthur Tracy Schultz here. Today I'm arriving in Skagway, Alaska. Today I'm actually taking a bus ride and also a train ride. And there's quite a bit of narration on the bus ride and also the train ride. So I'm taking a bus to actually ride the train. So I just thought I'll let you guys listen to quite a bit of that narration. You know, it has a lot of facts about Skagway and the history of Skagway. Right now, we're actually pulling up to the port, and I just wanted to capture some footage here and let you see this footage with the low-hanging clouds. It was pretty amazing sight to see in person, and it has a lot of history, Skagway. So I just want you to sit back and enjoy the bus ride and the train ride and take in really what you can from these two tours. So I will catch up with you at the very end of the video. Hope you guys enjoy.
They have retired that snowplow over there, but back in the day it was a very powerful machine and very handy to make sure everything was nice and clear. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to downtown. This is Broadway. Nice little area. We've got wooden sidewalks all over. The wooden sidewalks are called the Boardwalk, and later today when you're walking around, anywhere that you see the Boardwalk, you know that you're in our main shopping area, our historic downtown area. Very cool buildings, very cool things to see. Over here on the left, we have our Red Onion Saloon. It's a saloon downstairs, and can you see the ladies upstairs? It's a brothel as well. Now for you kids on board that are wondering what a brothel is, that's where they go and make chicken broth. So we had quite a lot of brothels out here in town back during the gold rush. The building on our left with all of that driftwood is our visitor center in town today. But historically, that was a big fraternity and all men's group that arose during the gold rush. And in 1923, we had a surprise visit by the President of the United States, President Warren G. Harding. During the time that he was here, he actually became a member of that fraternity. The fraternity was kind of like a family for all these people who had left everyone behind. Everybody was left behind when they came north for this gold rush. They left family and friends and everybody else. So that fraternity really kind of filled that gap. Over here on the right, we've got our Skagway hardware store. And that is such an important building for the local people in town, especially. That's the closest thing to a Walmart that we have. They will tell you, if we don't have what you're looking for, you don't need it. And let's just say there's a lot that we don't need in town. Sometimes though, if you get really creative, there's more that they have. I made a jump rope out of a dog leash and PVC pipe the other day. That was great. If you look on the mountainside, can you see that pocket watch painted there?
Yes.
That pocket watch is an advertisement for the building on our right, Crimsey's Curios. During the gold rush, that mountainside was completely exposed. They had cut down all the trees to build the houses and the buildings that we're kind of seeing right now. But that left the mountainside very exposed, and the businesses in town turned it into their original billboard. So Crimsey's clock is the only one that we still preserve, just to keep up with that little part of our history. Over on our left, we have our Wells Fargo Bank, and it shares a building with our post office. That's the only bank that we have in town, and hey, we just passed our entire financial district. I'm glad you think I'm funny. If you look over there on your right, straight down that little road, you're going to see a granite building. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
I wanted to point that out because when you finish up with your train ride, you are a 5-minute walk from that building. So you're only like a 5-minute walk to the edge of downtown area. From there, you are less than a half a mile away from your ships. So if you wanted to just walk around town, that's very possible to do and make it back to your ships. Or we have a shuttle service. So if you're planning on getting off and walking around in town following your train ride, there are a few options. If you would rather go straight back to the ship, there will be a bus provided. If you look over there on the mountainside on your left, can you see all those houses up there on the hill?
Yes.
So with the lack of space that we have out here, many of the people are starting to build out along that roadway up there, and they're heading out to a nearby ghost town of a city, Dai. That's kind of where all the building is being done. It's all pretty much finished in Skagway. Now, here in town, some have a full-time doctor. What do you think? Our doctor travels in. We have a medical clinic with nurse practitioners, but no full-time doctor. When women are going to have children, they go and actually bear the children somewhere else, either in Juneau or with family. Then they'll come back to Skagway after the delivery, just because of the medical situation that we have. If there is ever a medical emergency, now the reason for our groceries being as expensive as they are, we only have one grocery store, so there are no competitive prices in Skagway. But another reason, all of our food is shipped in out of Seattle, Washington. It takes about a week for everything to arrive out here. And with that week and how sometimes things change a little bit during shipping, we like to tell people that not only do we have really expensive things, we have also got the brownest greens and the greenest browns that you'll ever find in a grocery store. They've been a lot better over the years, but some of my first years out here, about with this job, we were able to save up a lot of our money and play our cards right. But I graduated last year completely debt-free, and my husband is going to graduate this December also debt-free. So we've been really excited for that. So thanks everyone for giving me a job and making that all possible. I really appreciate it. So we are heading out here to the By the way, if anybody was disappointed with your seat here on the bus, where we have everybody, the front seat that I had reserved for anybody who needed it is now open. So if anybody needed to move up or wanted to, that front seat here in town, they had to keep going. But whatever happened, they decided they were not going to go across the trails. In addition to taking, and that's a very dangerous place to be during the wintertime. If the snow builds up and then falls down the mountainside, it buries everything below it. The train is over there on your right, by the way. But they did not want to build the border offices where they could potentially be buried by snow all throughout the winter. So we are in between border offices right now. The border itself is just about halfway in between both of them. Not walk anywhere close to that highway. I'd like to really try to help keep everybody safe. So at any stop that we make, please do not go anywhere near the road. But we're going to see this waterfall over here on the right. This one is called Pitchfork Falls. And there to the right of the falls is a pipeline I'll tell you about that pipeline here as soon as we get back on the bus, but let me go ahead and grab that step stool. The train is coming, and just quicker one city to the next. It's pretty incredible. Also, if you look over there on your right, you're going to see the train tracks on that far valley wall, and you can see another of the many trains that we have using the tracks right now. We're able to have 6 trains going at the same time, so it's pretty incredible. The train that we saw there at Pitchfork Falls was heading north, but this train over there looks like it's heading south. But no worries, there will not be a collision. They have some really effective ways of switching the tracks and making sure that there is nothing dangerous that happens out here. Oh, and we've also got a train that we're following just here on the mountain closest to us, there on the right. Is anybody wondering what these poles are on the side of the road? This is the way that Canada, which is very close, tells us to watch more hockey. But in reality, we are in the avalanche zone, so these poles will help you find your way across this roadway if you can't see it. The idea is that the top bar now that is the case there at Bridalveil Falls. Is there anybody who's heard that name Bridalveil before? It's kind of a common name. Now, the reason why we have so many water we're about to see, this is a fault line that we're about to cross over. The continents on this planet are constantly moving around, shifted around on tectonic plates. When those different pieces of Earth come together, that's where a fault line occurs. It's just a connection point. But if there is a large enough earthquake, then this area could shift around. The design for this bridge allows the bridge to move with the land if that were to ever happen. Now, if anybody looks down there on your right, can any of you see last year's bus hanging out down there? Just kidding. We do also have a very nice, beautiful waterfall coming up on your left. This one is called the William Moore Falls. And William Moore's, and they're the ones that are closer towards us. Can you all see those? Those jagged mountain peaks are called the Sawtooth Peaks, and with the weather that we normally have in Skagway, it's very cloudy, low-hanging clouds, very windy and wet and rainy. Most people come to Skagway and they're not able to see those peaks over there. Well, the natives, they are called the Tlinkits, had a belief about the spiderweed, those pink flowers that we can see. Right now, at the height of summer, the flowers are very pink, but as the year goes by, and as everything gets closer to winter, the flowers are going to change. They're going to begin growing again. Okay? They just celebrated their Canadian independence the other day. Canada Day is on July 1st. So just a very recent thing for them. It's very similar to our 4th of July there in America. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but when I crossed that border, I was so excited for my first time. Because suddenly the number of countries I had ever visited actually right. And also, over here on the right, we have tiny little green buildings. Can you see those? Those little green buildings are called our international outhouses. Before you go in, you're Russian, inside European, and then you're finished. Yeah, so either you're all asleep or that really wasn't that funny. I'm trying to decide. That will tell you all that you need to know about me, though. That's my favorite joke. Now, as you're looking around here in the Tormented Valley, there are some beautiful things that you can see. It is very different than Skagway, but still very beautiful in a rugged sort of way. If you look over there on your right with all the glaciers, and if you kind of remember that shape, like if you cup your hands, you're going to see quite a lot of glacier valleys up in the mountain tops. We've had quite a few glaciers all over the place. But also, when we make a stop and we can actually hop out and see this whole valley, if you could see the valley. Now, a few things that glaciers will do as they move through an area, not only do they leave behind that classic Glacier Valley U shape that we've discussed, If you look over there on the mountainsides there on your right, can you see those areas where it looks like something scratched through the mountains? Those scratches or those scars in the mountainside are called glacier stratiations. And it's really just a fancy word to say, hey, a glacier came through and scratched that mountainside. So those glacier stratiations are caused as a glacier is moving. And if I could have everyone do me a favor, we are pretty close to the end of our bus tour today. We're coming north or going south.
And welcome aboard the White Pass and Yukon route. Now today you've joined us for a journey from Fraser, British Columbia down to Skagway, Alaska. As we ride the rails together on this historic narrow gauge railroad, we'll take a journey back in time to relive the chaotic days. Historic civil engineering landmark. That's a pretty wordy title, but basically it means we're a pretty big deal. We rank up there with other marvels of engineering like the Eiffel Tower, the Panama Canal, and even the Statue of Liberty. They'll have with them a few souvenir items for you to purchase if you like. If you do want to preview what they'll have, you look at the back cover of that All Aboard magazine. Now, first up, we have our official White Pass and Yukon Route hat. This comes in steam engine black, featuring our logo on the front, 2019, embroidered in gold thread, and Skagway, Alaska, embroidered on the back. It can only be found here on board our trains. It's exclusive for the train ride. We don't sell them anywhere else in the world. Now that hat is only $10. Now with them they'll also have the Scenic Journey DVD. It's a fully narrated DVD covering the entire journey from Skagway. It's a $20 deal and will also include the 32-page Scenic Journey picture book as part of that combo deal. So go ahead and make up your mind right now. They'll have time to come through just once. So that's why it's a little smoky, but still, folks, you've joined us for an excellent day. And on a day like today, it's no wonder why they call this Inspiration Point. at 3.9%. We're going to be losing about 206 feet for every single mile that we travel. And our entire rail line that we can see. 7,000 feet up. And let them know it's time to come inside and take a seat for the remainder of our trip today.
Hi guys, you guessed it. I am headed back to the ship now. I hope you guys really enjoyed both of those tours today. You'll want to stick with me here because as we leave Skagway, it's some pretty shots and awesome video that I was able to capture. So stick around for just a couple more minutes, okay? Hi guys, I hope you really did enjoy that video today. If so, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And how about you share? And I'll see you next time. Thanks.